In this series of videos, we will introduce how to use generative AI for multimodal assessment task in English language teaching. In this part, we will talk about some basic concepts. The first concept is multimodality. It refers to the use and integration of multiple modes of communication, such as linguistic mode, visual mode, audio mode, gestural mode, and spatial mode, to create and convey meaning. In English language learning, multimodality supports diverse ways of meaning-making, allowing students to combine speaking, writing, visuals, and other forms of communication to demonstrate their understanding and creativity. The second concept is multimodal assessment. This refers to evaluating students' language skills through tasks that involve multiple modes of communication. It moves beyond traditional text-based assessments, essays or exams, and allows learners to demonstrate their understanding through a combination of text, images, audio, video, and other modes. As teachers who may be interested in multimodal assessment, you may also think about the why question. The shift toward multimodal assessment reflects a broader transition in education, from traditional literacy to multiliteracies, and ultimately to critical literacy, aligning with the evolving ways we communicate and interact with the world. Traditional literacy, which focuses on the ability to read and write text, is no longer sufficient in a world dominated by diverse and complex modes of communication, such as visuals, audio, and digital media. This has led to the concept of multiliteracies, which expands the notion of literacy to include the ability to interpret and create meaning across multiple modes, including textual, visual, spatial, and digital forms. Multimodal assessment supports this shift by encouraging students to engage with and produce knowledge in diverse formats, preparing them for real-world communication. Moreover, multimodal assessment fosters critical literacy, which goes beyond understanding information to questioning, analyzing, and critiquing how meaning is constructed and represented. By producing multimodal outputs, such as infographics, videos, or ebooks, students not only demonstrate their comprehension, but also reflect on how different modes influence the way messages are conveyed and interpreted. This critical approach empowers students to become active participants in meaning-making, equipping them with the skills to navigate and challenge the multimodal texts they encounter in their daily lives. The next question is about how to use multimodal assessment in English language teaching. English teachers can integrate multimodal assessment into their courses by aligning it with existing language learning objectives, making it an engaging and creative alternative to traditional methods. For assessing presentation skills, students can create video presentations, narrated ebooks, or infographics to enhance their oral communication. To evaluate writing skills, tasks such as scripting videos, designing ebooks, or creating infographics encourage clear, concise, and audience-focused writing. Multimodal assessment also supports reading comprehension by allowing students to summarize texts through infographics, create video retellings, or design alternative story endings in ebooks. Additionally, it fosters creativity and critical thinking, challenging students to synthesize information and experiment with mode combinations in projects like digital magazines or multimodal presentations. Lastly, collaborative tasks such as group documentaries, class-wide digital publications, or storytelling projects promote teamwork and communication alongside language skills. By adopting multimodal assessment, teachers can engage students, develop multiliteracies, and prepare them for real-world communication. Now, we would like to introduce our models for multimodal assessment to you. The models include a genre-based model and a process-based model. Let's focus on the genre-based model first. To help you easily understand this model, we will use one poster as an example. The first component in this genre-based model is communicative purpose. The primary purpose of this poster is instructional or informing. It aims to guide the audience through the steps of making pasta in a simple and clear way. It combines ingredients, process steps, and a visual representation of the final dish to help the audience quickly understand how to prepare the recipe. The second component in this model is Base Unit. The poster uses two main modes. Linguistic mode, it includes concise written instructions like cook pasta in boiling water and ingredient labels with measurements, e.g., pasta 200 grams, sauce 2 tablespoons. Visual mode, it features images of the ingredients, step-by-step illustrations of the cooking process, and a photo of the final dish. These visuals complement the text by providing clear, easy-to-follow representations of each step. Together, the linguistic and visual modes work in harmony to convey the recipe effectively. The third component in this model is navigation. The genre of this poster is a recipe guide, which typically follows a linear, step-by-step structure. The navigation is straightforward. The ingredients are listed at the top, with visual depictions and measurements. Below the ingredients, the process is broken into sequential steps, with arrows indicating the flow from one step to the next. The final step leads to an image of the completed dish, giving a clear endpoint and a visual goal for the audience. This logical progression ensures the audience can easily follow the instructions without confusion. The fourth component is rhetorical, which is about the relationship between modes. The linguistic and visual modes have a complementary relationship. The visuals illustrate the written instructions, making them easier to understand. For example, the image of boiling water corresponds to cook pasta in boiling water. The text elaborates on the visuals by providing specific details, like ingredient measurements and cooking actions. This combination enhances clarity and caters to both verbal and visual learners. The fifth component of this model is layout. The poster's layout is simple, clean, and intuitive. The title, Pasta, at the top immediately grabs attention. The visuals of the ingredients are prominent and evenly spaced, making them stand out. The final dish image at the bottom anchors the design and provides a visual reward. Each section is visually distinct, with white space separating them for clarity. Individual steps are framed by arrows to guide the viewer through the process. To sum up, when students are designing their multimodal assessment products, they can consider these 5 aspects: the communicative purpose, the modes to choose, the layout, the navigation, and the rhetorical. After introducing the genre-based model, we will run you through the process-based model. This model captures 4 stages: planning, which is about making a composition plan for the multimodal assessment product; designing, which is about creating this multimodal assessment product; sharing, which is about students sharing their products with teachers, peers, and even generative AI; and reflecting, which is about students reflecting on their assessment process and product.